Personalizing and customizing things can be expensive sometimes. So I'm going to show you a really great technique for personalizing a drink canister. So here I have a drink canister, and what I'm going to do is, from my roll of contact paper, which is just a sticky sided kind of piece of plastic that you line your kitchen drawers with, get it at the hardware store, I've cut a piece of that. So I have that prepared about the size of my printout, because I've already pre-printed my pattern. And just with regular tape, I'm just going to tape that design to the contact paper. Just like that. And with a craft knife, just carefully cut out my design. And I'm basically creating a stencil of the pattern. So I'm cutting out all the gray areas and saving all the white. So if there are pieces in your design that are in the middle of it, like in between my sails here, I want to remember to keep that white piece. So carefully remove all your gray. Sometimes, so I don't forget, I like to just cut that piece, that middle piece out first and put it aside so that I don't lose it in all of my scrap cutouts. So I'm going to take that piece and just put it aside. Remember to keep that. And then there's one more little piece right here. Cut that out as well. So then I know I'm safe to go, and I can just continue to cut out the rest of the sailboat. So I'm going to save that piece. Get that aside. So then I'm just going to continue to cut. I'm just cutting along, cutting through the template and the contact paper. If you have really straight long edges and you want it to be perfectly straight, I recommend using a ruler with your craft knife. But for this, I think it's already like this. And eventually, it's all cut out, and it will look like this. And I've saved those pieces. So I have the in between my sail and that little part of the bottom of the ship ready to go. Now that my design is cut out, I'm ready to personalize. And what I'm going to do is, on this nice big jar that I'm going to use as a drink dispenser, I'm going to etch my sailboat. So in etching, the first thing you do is take your stenciled design and you want to adhere it to your surface here. I'm going to peel it up. And what I like to do is peel up only half so that I can center it without the bottom half sticking before I've centered it. So I'm just going to center it right about there, and then remove this piece of paper here. And it can be a little fussy because contact paper is sticky and you're using a larger sheet, so it can get a little fussy sticking it on. But you basically are just going to apply that stencil to your jar. So my contact paper is on there, really adhered, not that many bubbles around the design. You want to make sure you don't have any ripples or bubbles close to your design, because then our etching cream will seep under there. So I want to just apply that negative space that I saved and put on the side when I was cutting my stencil. I'm just going to peel off the contact paper on that. Carefully position that in between those sails. Make sure you rub it, all the edges are down. And here's that little part of the base of the ship. All right. So I think we're ready to etch. So basically I'm just gonna blob on and paint like this. I don't like going up and down motions because you're then, with stenciling, risking going under and bleeding under the stencil. You wanna make sure you put on a nice kind of medium thickness layer of cream. So it's okay if it's a little blobby in places. Just make sure you cover your entire design. I'm using a paintbrush while I'm doing this because the etching cream is etching cream. You know, it's etching through glass and I don't want to put it on my hands. So I'm keeping my hands away from the actual cream by using the paintbrush. You could wear gloves also, but I always like to apply the etching cream with the brush. And with etching cream, you need to leave it on for about 5 minutes. But for the first minute, I actually like to kind of, now that I have the etching cream on there, I can do those strokes over it. And I just like to kind of blend it around. And I can actually feel that it's etching because of the way it's adhering now. So just move that kind of cream all around. This way you'll get a really even etch when you are ready to rinse the design or the cream off. So just keep kind of moving it around like that. Looking good to me. So I think I'm gonna let this sit for about 4 more minutes and then rinse it off. My design's been sitting here for 5 minutes now and I'm ready to rinse off the etching cream. So what I like to do is be economical about it and save the extra etching cream that's on there. So I just am gonna go back over the design with the paintbrush, scooping up as much as I can so that the next jar I embellish will have enough etching cream. So, and it's okay to leave it on longer than 5 minutes. It's just gonna, at some point it just stops etching. Looks good. And then with a paper towel, very gently, I'm just gonna rub off any more of that excess. All right. And then dispose of that. So it's ready to be rinsed off, whatever's left on there, under running water, using a paper towel. Just rub off that extra etching cream. Make sure it's completely cleaned off. Make sure you're not getting any etching cream anywhere else on your glass surface there. So it's completely off, and I'm gonna just start peeling while the water's still running, because just in case there's any leftover etching cream there, I just like to peel this under the running water. So, then give it one final clean. And turn that off. So here is my personalized drink dispenser with a nice sailboat.